evolv1 is a high-performance building, or generally known as a green building, which is intended to be low in its impact on the environment.
How can we start to leverage this 1 million square feet for R&D? So not just relying on the companies to do it on their own internally, but how can we work with them, the university, and the city to sort of enable really interesting research and development opportunities?
I'm Manuel Riemer. I'm the director of the Wiesmann Center for Engagement and Research in Sustainability, short VERIS, at Wilfrid Laurier University. So I've been with Laurier for about 15 years, and the center has been around since 2018.
Well, my name's Paul Parker. I've been a professor at the University of Waterloo for over 30 years, so I've had many roles in that time, most recently and associated with the Research and Technology Park here. So I love the evolv1 project because it is a multi-tenant building, so we already have the complexity of different organizations here in the Research and Technology Park, but it was born with a vision, with a goal, and that was to be the most environmental building that it could be.
So working with folks at the City of Waterloo who are really supportive, working internally with the folks at the university, our developer partners like the Cora Group and Marsland and Europro are really great to work with. We're so fortunate to have so many great people who have that attitude of, tell me more. How can I help? And that's what really makes this work, is because everybody's interested to try and see if they can while still doing the right things.
I was approached by Alan Taylor, who was the project manager for the building development. I'm at Sustainable Waterloo Region, and he and the others who were in the team that developed the building had looked at the research for the development of green buildings, and one thing that they saw was existence of a performance gap. What that means is that these green buildings often are designed to perform at a certain level, but when you look at the actual performance after commissioning, they often don't actually live up to that design. One of the core questions is, can we create a culture of sustainability within a commercial building like this with multiple tenants?
How can we encourage the tenants in the building to adopt various practices that are more sustainable? One of the first examples, of course, good design is always step number one. So having an accessible staircase in the atrium invites people to use it. So the good news is there are a high number of people using that. And when we invited our students to count the users periodically, we get to see how excited are people to use this radical technology, a stair step instead of the elevator.
And we see that as important, that the occupants of the building understand sustainability and how they can support sustainability in the building and not working against the building. So a big factor, of course, of well-being in an office building is the indoor environment. And so we partnered with a company that was actually started by the Accelerator Center, another organization here in the park, called 11X. And they create Internet of Things, where they connect a bunch of sensors, and then you can live kind of connect to the data that these sensors collect.
I'm Dan Mathers. I'm President and CEO of 11X. One of our key strategies was to work with university researchers to test out a lot of this different technology. And so there was an opportunity to work with folks in obviously researchers at the University of Waterloo as well as Laurier to go and test out a number of different sensors using LoRaWAN to make sure that the air quality was appropriate, that really the whole project started from, you can design the best building in the world, the most energy efficient building in the world, but depending on how people use it, it can either achieve those dreams or not achieve those dreams. And so the whole goal there was to sensor up the building to figure out how people actually use the building. So there was a people counting sensor on the stairwell and in the elevator, and sensors on the recycling area to figure out whether people were using that. And of course, indoor air quality, CO2, temperature, relative humidity, which is really a measure of the health of the building. So very successful project. We're very happy to have had that as one of our paid pilots.
The website that we created was a great collaboration with two co-op students from the University of Waterloo. And they created for us a 3D image of the building. And within that are different parts of the building that come together to create the net positive impact of the building, like the state-of-the-art HVAC system, the geothermal system, the solar panels, the solar wall. These are not necessarily things a lot of people know the specifics about or even know that they're part of the building.
The beauty of the Research and Technology Park is that while in research we always ask permission before each experiment, but we kind of have people that are sort of predisposed to they know we're in proximity to the university, therefore there's a higher probability that we might be asked to participate. But from the researchers' side, it also means there's a higher probability that the partners here will say yes to participate. And so it becomes mutually beneficial because, oh, wait a minute, those students that are engaging in these projects, they find that they're interesting, and of course they help become the excellent talent for these firms. So it's a benefit to the firms and the partners as well as to the university and the students. We have lots of data, lots of information. It's transferring that knowledge to better future practice. How do we build a better society? Yes, well, I really hope that evolv1 gives others the courage to move into that same space.